Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Got myself and Damon Thurman doing some raw conventional pulls. Damon will throw his suit on a little bit later and do some sumo pulls. We're pulling off of a 1-inch mat. The weights are elevated by 1 inch. I figure I don't pull conventional in competition, and I wanted to pull heavy on this day, and my mobility's kind of shitty, so those are my excuses for cheating and pulling off of a 1-inch mat. I'm also utilizing a band on there, and that band's adding approximately 100 pounds to the top of the weight. And Damon here with his form is hi Quinn. Damon with his form here, his stance is a little too wide, and we correct that as we go on. As we move on a little bit later in the video, you'll see me correct his stance a little bit, and his hands are also a little bit too wide. So we got to try to get that stance in a little bit more so he can force the knees out more and get his back straighter. Remember, during any type of deadlift, whether it's conventional or sumo, you always want to have your hips lower than your shoulders. You can see Damon's doing a good job of pulling his chest up and bringing those shoulders up high. You can see here I'm dipping my booty. That's me, Quinn. I'm dipping my booty down below my shoulders and trying to get my back nice and flat. Again, the bands are accommodating resistance. You got more weight at the top, and it's lighter at the bottom, making your body produce more force, making you accelerate into it more. Now you can see here I got a rounded thoracic spine, but the low back is still straight. That's something I wanted to play with, so I did that for a few of the warm-up sets as I was moving along. See, now Damon's got the straps up and the suit's a little bit tight, and so it's making it hard for him to get his back flat, but he does a decent job of it there. But his form is still a little funky. His legs are straightening out, and he's a little bit forward of the bar. There's my Croc Rose shirt I got from Matt Krokoletsky. Some of you guys might know him as Cindy, but Matt's a cool dude. I saw him out at the Arnold, and he gave me a free super tight t-shirt. I'm also wearing 2XU gear. That's something I've been messing around with lately, compression gear. I throw on the compression pants after a workout and throw down a post-workout shake for recovery. Also sometimes sleep in some of the stuff. I got some calf sleeves and forearm sleeves and some socks and stuff like that. It just improves circulation. Kind of hard to describe on what it's doing exactly. It feels great while you work out, but it also can help you after the workout. See Damon stalling out on that pull. He's definitely too wide on that one. This pull right here, this is about 550 or so, I believe. More importantly than it being 550 or 555 is that I got a... actually, that's the next set, I believe, is 550. That was a little bit less. That was 500, I think, 505. Here's Tara Getty working on trying to keep her back flat. Sometimes she tends to round over a little bit. And there's Damon going. We're working on his form. We brought his stance in a tiny bit and brought his hands in just a little bit. You can see Damon with his mouth wide open after every set, like just totally confused on what's going on. You need to be careful with that inside of a powerlifting gym. Somebody might try to make babies with your face. So you can keep your mouth shut even if you are confused. So here's the 555, the historic 555 world record shattering 555 conventional pull for a triple. And Benedict Magnuson's got to be just nervous about me killing his record. I got a belt PR there. That's the first time I gotten into that hole. That's what she said. I got a little bit of a belt PR. I wore that belt at 242 and still wear it today at 280. So I wore that belt all the way up to about 330, where it almost didn't fit me when I competed. But I always kept in it. There's Kara Weston doing some Suumo pulls with a chain. There's Ryan Cove going. Ryan's always got good form. Pulls the shoulders up high, back's flat, drives the hips through just like you should. A lot of people don't turn the hips on early enough in a sumo pull. At least that's what Edward Cohn told me at one point, and Eddie's pulled 901 at 220 pounds. But you want to try to get those hips through as early as you can. And you can see Cove does a great job, but it's almost like he's picking the weight up with his hips. Ryan and Robot, who you'll see here in a second, they do an awesome job of forcing their knees out. They get their knees way out there. And both of them also, so I think some people make the mistake of having their toes pointed out too far. And they also oftentimes will lose their balance and the weight will shift around a lot. So their toes are pointed out, of course, but not pointed out too much. Another good strong pull from Robot. Robot's form on this day was some of the best form I've seen him do. And there's Cove again with pretty much picture-perfect form. We had to fix Cove up a little bit. Jesse Burdick actually worked with him a little bit a while back, and we had to make sure that he wasn't over-squatting the weight. That one he tended to over-squat. It looked like he actually brought his hips down a little bit too far. A cue that Burdick and I have been thinking about is to not even bother to tell people to even lower their hips anymore, because they're going to want to lower them too much. But just to actually push your hips back more so than anything else.
Come on, Jim.
Especially in powerlifting here. If you're raw, it's going to be a slightly different story. There's going to be some different cues and some different things you're going to want to focus on. If you're raw, your stance is going to be in a little bit closer for sumo for sure. And your hips are probably going to be fairly high raw too, because you can only use so much groin when you're raw without killing your hips and everything else. Here's Jim McDonald coming off of some injuries to the hammy and the hip, or the hammy and the glute and the groin area. There's Ryan Spencer pulling big as usual, reverse band. I'll give you guys a discount code, a promo code. Here's Biggie Bird. He forgot his yellow feathers on this day, but didn't forget his intensity. Big Bird has some crazy mobility issues, and it makes for some difficult pulling because he's so tall, but he still gets in a great position. The promo code for 2xu.com to get 10% off and free shipping is capital PFT0100. Capital PFT0100. You'll get 10% off and free shipping. Another awesome pull by Ryan Spencer, who only weighs 140 pounds, and that was a 900-pound reverse band deadlift. Here goes Mr. Biggie Bird taking some time off of Sesame Street to come in and play with us and hit up some sumo pulls. I believe this is around 620 or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he pulls it for a W. Could have probably got the knees out even a little bit better, but that is it from supertraining.tv. Later.